tired subject, really, at this point, but largely it's still laughed at. Like, there's still, like, the majority of the world is going to laugh in your face when they hear that you're a flat earther. There is, but I do think that we're at the point now where at least pretty much everybody, a large percentage of the population now, know about the flat earth movement, or the flat earth awakening. It's become mainstream. And whether or not any, the majority of people have taken it seriously, that's not the point. The point is everybody knows about it now. And so basically it's just a matter of time. Because once everybody knows about something, well, it's just sort of like everyone's just going to sort of trickle in, It's like people have to fucking look at it before they can really take it seriously. But since it didn't go away, it in fact got bigger, a lot of common sense thinking people are going to wonder about that and be like, huh. And here's the thing, like, we're spread out so fast. What's up, Liv? There's flat earthers all over the plane. Now that it's pretty much permeated into the societies, like, all the far reaches of the world, like, there's flat earth has made it, to the mainstream. It's joked about in commercials, TV shows, popular, famous celebrities have come out and said, I fucking believe the earth is flat. Basically calling out all astronauts as being liars, all government space agencies as being fraud on the world stage, coming out. I mean, that's significant because that's where the space presentation takes place, on the world stage. So to have other celebrities, famous people come out on the same world stage and say the earth is flat, well, they're just saying all that other space shit is garbage, it's bogus, it's bunk, it's fraud. And they have yet to come and defend their presentation that has been called out on the world stage by several celebrities. There's even a government official in the Czech Republic that's been quoted as having said the globe hasn't been proved, and that he would actually have to go to space and see the earth as a globe in order to believe it's real. So he's a flat earther. And so I'm just kind of working my way towards the point here, but it's like, when it becomes that widespread where it's like pretty much the majority of society has heard about it, and I'd say, yeah, the majority will laugh about it. Although there's going to come a point here pretty soon where just about everyone is going to know somebody who knows someone maybe who's a flat earther, or whatever. Because that's kind of what it takes. It's like, for me, like I saw it, the first time I saw it was when that dude Mike was doing his steam rocket or whatever. He was claiming flat earth. I don't think he was much of a flat earther. He was just using that as like, I don't know. I think some flat earthers were trying to get some publicity through him or something. I don't know how that all worked out, but I just remember seeing that on my dad's Facebook page. I was just happened to be there, and he was scrolling through his Facebook thing, and I saw that, and I was all, what's that? And he's all, oh, there's these people that think the earth is flat. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's got to be a joke or something, right? And he's all, I don't know. And I just was like, huh. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, that's pretty funny. That's cool. I was thinking, well, they're just a bunch of contrarians, they're just like, that's kind of punk rock, and I liked it, but I wasn't like intrigued, attracted to it in that sense. I was just like, that's funny. That's, that's pretty classic. I like it. Because I'm just sort of like, I'm always the guy who's like running against the grain of society's fucking nonsense, and I've typically just been that guy. But I didn't really think twice about it. I was like, well, that's funny, that's cool, and I just moved right on with whatever I was doing at the time. And it wasn't until sometime later when my brother had turned me on to Owen Benjamin, and I was watching Owen Benjamin's streams. And when he started getting into flat Earth is when he kind of dragged me into it, because I was already like enjoying his streams that he was doing, and I was like a big fan of his already, and so and I was realizing a lot of the stuff that he's bringing up in his streams was like stuff that was like it's controversial, but it ended up there was more proof of what he was saying as being true than not. And he started talking about the moon landings, and at the point where he was getting into flat Earth, I was like, wait a minute, these people are for real. Like I thought it was a joke. I don't know how much time had passed between when I first saw it and then when Owen Benjamin was getting into it. I think he got into it maybe 2017 or 18. I think that's when it was, 2017 or 8, maybe towards the end of 2017. But so I mean, flat Earth had already been going for a couple of years. I wasn't really on YouTube or anything. I had no reason to have been exposed to it prior to that. But that's the thing, is like people don't really. I was just saying my experience there, because I think that's kind of how it is with people. It's like they'll hear about it just in passing, and it's like most people are going to respond the way I did, which is like, oh, that's funny. Most people aren't going to be like, because I thought it was cool because I'm just sort of punk rock like that. I was just like, yeah, right on. Just kind of like flipping the finger to the fucking, the man, I just thought it was funny. I didn't think they were serious, so. But there's probably a lot of people that respond that way. Or if anything, they just look at it and laugh and move on. But at the point where I was watching a streamer, it was Owen Benjamin, but I was like, I already had respect for him, and I was enjoying the things he was talking about, and then when he starts bringing that, to my attention, I was like, wait a second, I had no choice but to pay attention and like take it more seriously. And then and he's sort of reluctant, and I was kind of like wait, this is a serious thing, and then I talked to my brother about it, and it turns out he already was all hip with all the information, and he just hadn't told me about it, because we're pretty close, but I just like, what the fuck, and so I started. Owen Benjamin was playing a Taboo Conspiracy video. It was like his Flat Earth Awakening bin, and it was like it was a video that had the moon landing, like where he broke down. It was like the moon landing hoax, and then after that, there was like his Flat Earth Awakening. So he covered both subjects in this one video, and I watched that video so many times. I was like, oh my god, that's fucking, that's crazy. Taboo Conspiracies had me sold. I was like, but naturally you have all those questions. It's like, but you're not gonna really like. I think most people don't. They're not gonna like really take it seriously unless there's someone that they, unless it's being presented to them by someone they know or they already respect. A lot of people. I mean, there's some people that'll never want to look at it until they're going to be like the last people straggling. It's like when they finally announce that the Earth is flat, they're going to be like, no, they'll still be like kicking and screaming. Yeah, you need 50 subs, but there's an app you can get. There's an app you can get that allows you to bypass that, because I'm always having to start my channel over. So I'll start at 0, and I like doing live streams, but you can use what is it called? What is that app called? Prism. It's Prism. Prism app lets you stream onto YouTube without having 50 subs. You can just stream right onto YouTube and get around their whole deal. I thought I was going to be able to stream while I was in trouble too with the strike, but they don't let you do that. So if I can get around their policy, I wonder if I can get around their other policy, but no, they wouldn't let me. Yeah, you need 50 subscribers to go live from YouTube, but if you use Prism, you can go live on YouTube with no subscribers. It's a cool little workaround. That's what I was doing on this channel, because for a while I was like, I just started this channel like a few months, like maybe I think in December. But that was after my other channel got deleted. I think I had like almost 500 subs on that one. I think that's the most subs I've ever gotten, was like almost 500. I've done that a couple times, and YouTube always cuts me off right before I get there. All right, I was going to do a demonstration. You guys have already seen this, so you guys are probably so tired of this. But here's what I've just been meditating on. I'm just like, it seems like some Flat Earth goes through like these swells where it's really intense, and there's like a lot of amazing stuff happening. You know, there's all kinds of discoveries being made and information. It's just like we've just got this, you know, like how Bob Nodell would say, he's like the preponderance of evidence. It's like, whereas you at one point would have thought the globe would have the preponderance of evidence, but then it turns out that's not the case, and it's the other way around. And just the whole, I mean, just it's the fact that it's just so silly, really, when it comes down to it. It's like, yeah, of course the Earth is what it looks like. I mean, you realize how much programming you've been put through. It's like, wow, I have to be like convinced that the Earth isn't what it appears to be and feel like. I have to like do fucking years worth of research just to convince myself that the Earth is what it looks like. It's kind of embarrassing, really. I mean, like when Dave had that gotcha moment with fucking dude on you know, the guy that made the 8-hour documentary about flat Earth being dumb. Dave just asked him point blank, because Dave is like a simple guy. He's smart as fuck, but he's not like trying to get all hardcore fucking breaking down, you know, all kinds of crazy complicated shit. He's just all, dude, what in your daily life throughout your lifetime and your life experience has, like, if you didn't have nobody told you about the solar system and all this shit, what in your experience would lead you to come to that conclusion that you live on a ball spinning through, or chasing the sun, flying through space? What would give me that impression? And the guy just couldn't come up with an answer. You know, they gave him like 5 seconds to respond, and then it was just kind of like crickets. And then he's just like, I don't know if I should even have this conversation right now. It's like, dude, you just made an 8-hour documentary about how stupid this is. Yeah, I think it's time to have the conversation, you know? And like basically what he was doing, he was exposing himself as being that fucking dumb, or just like weird. Like, you made it he claimed he watched thousands of hours of debates, and I believe he probably did, because he had a lot of content that he compiled. He watched just like, you know, a mind-numbing amount of content of flat Earth, and compiled an 8-hour documentary about how it's ridiculous. And like the guy, like, here's the thing, he wasn't even looking at it for like, he was watching all that content. It was because he was looking at it from the wrong angle. He was looking at it, you know, with the appeal to authority, or just like this, like a cliquish, like, you know, sort of like, oh, these guys sound so stupid, you know, but then he never made it past that surface level assessment, you know, that we all have. We've all had that assessment, like, oh my God, that's stupid, or that's funny, you know, what the hell? And so, but he never made it past that first surface level reaction that people get. And he watched thousands of hours of it, you know, supposedly. He must have had to watch a lot, because he made a compilation, an 8-hour video of it. And what I noticed right away in the video was that it was like a hit piece. Like, he'd specifically gone out of his way to find all the dumbest looking shit, you know, the stuff that was potentially like embarrassing or whatever, like the stuff that looks stupid. And, you know, because we're just like people, we're not like, we're not all flashy, like, you know, it's not commercial. It's like, it's just people like trying to think about shit, you know, and so it's not all going to be graceful and like fancy, you know. It's like, it's easy to find shit that, you know what I mean, if you're just cherry picking and you're trying to fucking make something look stupid, it's not hard to do. And so the guy is just like, he's looking at it through the wrong lens, you know. He'd been investing all that time, you know, watching all that content, but from the wrong angle. He was looking at it from like, look at these people, they're not worried about how stupid they look, or do they not know how dumb they look? You know, he's like, he was stuck on that. He didn't make it past the first level, surface level, where it's like, this is the wrong thing to say, you know, because we all know that it's the wrong thing to say. We were trained to think that. Oh no, they're not thinking that. We're not thinking, oh, we've been trained to think that's stupid. No, they're thinking that's stupid because they've been trained. You know, they're not thinking I've been trained. They're thinking that's stupid. And like when I first saw it, I was like, that's funny. I thought it was a bunch of people being rebellious or like punk rock, and I was like, that's cool. But I was still laughing at it, I still thought it was a joke until someone that I was taking seriously at the time brought it to my attention, and that I saw that it was actually a real thing. But I can't imagine having watched thousands of hours of it from the wrong lens, looking at it from the wrong. Because I mean, it's like the guy never even thought about the fucking topic. Dave asked him, he's like, what is it that about your daily life, just your own personal experience, that would lead you to believe that all that shit's happening, the glow, the spinning ball going through? And he didn't have a response, and it's like he ended up, well, I don't think this conversation's worth having. It's like, no, Ronster, dude, you're on a flat Earth show. You made an 8-hour fucking hit piece about how dumb it is. Like, yeah, it's time to have that conversation, dude. And like, the thing is, he hadn't even thought about the topic. He never even made it to the surface level. He was hung up on some social aspect of it, And it's like, that's not what it's about, dude. We're talking about reality. Yeah, it's a really fucking well woven conspiracy, yes, and it's mind boggling. It's hard to really wrap your mind around. True, I get it. But like, if you really just have to get real, um, yeah, the ground isn't moving and nobody's upside down. And that's pretty silly to think that somebody would be upside down, because we never see anything like that in our reality, where that gives us the impression that you could stand on the bottom of a sphere without falling off. I don't care that we have a sphere floating through the sky. That doesn't mean that's what we are. That's silly. I mean, it could mean that, but like that means there's a lot of other things that come with that, though, which is like there's going to have to be measurable curvature. There's going to have to be people upside down and sideways without realizing it. I mean, that's a tall order, to make that work. Like to to hypothesize that there's going to be people that are upside down in reference to a bold claim. That you just have to you have to start them young with that. There's a reason why you learn about that right when you're first coming into the world, because teaching somebody that as an adult, that really wouldn't be easy. I don't think it could be done, honestly. And it's just interesting, so like how infantile everybody, like, it's like that's why they get mad, they revert back to their childhood. It's like, we've all been trained, that's stupid. They're not thinking that, they're thinking that's stupid. Once you realize that you've been trained to think something, you're like, well, wait, step back. I've been trained to think that, but like, wait a minute, what's so stupid about it? Just because the Earth looks flat and stationary, that's why they thought that? I mean, is that really stupid? They just didn't know that it was a globe that was spinning. Well, how did we figure that out? It's like, because apparently we figured that out long before anybody ever went to space. Well, they figured that out because they saw ships going over the horizon and blah, blah, blah. No, well, we've already fucking debunked that. And, go try to take an accurate, like, consistent measurement of the curvature. It changes throughout the day. I mean, you're not going to, it's like the only variable we're working with as far as like how far we can see is the atmosphere and our eyes. There's nothing else. I mean, we're just like, the topography, but like, as far as what's allowing us to see a distance is just the environment, there's not like another variable that's like, this elusive curvature. It's like, it's just a matter of like what the atmosphere, how much. I mean, I know I'm just spitting like fucking shit we've already talked about, to the point of where it's just like ridiculous. But my only point being is I'm just kind of reiterating what Jaron said. It's like these people didn't ever know that it was a globe. The only reason you would ever know that is if you had left and looked back on it, which is like when they claimed to have gone to space, which we of course know is bullshit. But like, there's no fucking way he's going to see the sun for 24 hours in Antarctica. There's probably no way he's even going. I mean, but those guys could be real. I don't think McToon is genuine at all, but I think he realizes that he's lost the argument, but he's thinking like there's still a chance. If we can go and see the 24-hour sun, and they're hanging on to this thread. It's like it's the one thing that we haven't really had access to. It's like all the other globe evidence they brought to us. Like, notice how they don't try to bring up space agencies and their fucking achievements. When we're having these debates, they don't even fucking touch that one because it's obvious that it's fake. That doesn't even get brought up in the debates because people have pretty much all come around to the idea that like that's not true. It's all bullshit. Some of them, like Dave McKeegan, will bring up the ISS, and but he's not debating with anybody. He's just doing his dumb shows where he's like petting his dog and fucking talking trash. But he's going down there with Jaronism and fucking Austin Whitsitt, or whoever. I don't know who's going. I don't think they're really going to go, honestly. But if Bluffy is for real, if Bluffy isn't bluffing and he really does have a ton of money to throw around and he's just like, I want to fucking get to the bottom of this. But here's the thing. He doesn't strike me as being that type of guy. Like, he strikes me as being more like the type of guy that I was just talking about, the dude that's never really made it. Well, no, that's not true. He did debate with Austin about it. Because I don't think that dude that was on Dave's show or Flatzoid's show, I don't think he even really knows the topic. He's just never made it past the very surface level. He was like, he never even thought about it. Wait, he never even thought about why do I think the Earth is it's embarrassing. But so the thing is, if Bluffy really, do you think he's genuine? I don't think he's genuine. He doesn't strike me as being someone who's passionately seeking truth. I mean, either that or he's just a real bad judge of character. Because I'm sorry, but McToon doesn't strike you as being somebody who's like a genuine, like, I don't know, man. That guy's just, sometimes I think he's just like an actor. He's definitely a fucking meme, like, have I been breaking up a lot? Is there any sound? Yeah, it is sad, Russ. It is sad, Run Boston Bear. And what's going to be even more sad is if they really do go to Antarctica and witness the sun set, which they're going to have to. There's no way there's a 24-hour sun in it. It doesn't make sense because there's all other evidence tells us that there isn't any 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And to think that there's 4 months of nothing but sunshine, night and day. There's no night. There's nothing but sunshine. On the iciest, coldest place in the... There wouldn't be an icy place there if it was 24 hours of sun for 4 months. It would melt. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. That's not what we would see. The flat Earth model makes so much more sense. It's just laughable. There's no fucking way you're going to see a 24-hour sun down there. It's impossible. I've seen enough evidence to where I can like 100% assure you that you won't see it there. You're not going to see it because that's impossible. It's impossible. There's no 24-hour sun there. Guarantee you that. And most people think of the Earth like flat earthers anyways. I'll show you how I know that. All you need is a piece of chalk to prove to somebody that they think just like a flat earther. They just don't realize it. I'm going to draw a circle on the ground. There's a circle. Now this circle belongs to you. That's your property now. We're going to play the concentric circle lottery. Here's the rules. You own whatever's in the circle. You can take a step outside of your circle and draw another circle. You own whatever's in the circle. You can step out of it and draw another circle. Whatever the last circle you drew, that's your property. So that's what's so cool about the concentric circle lottery, is that you realize you're like, wait, I can just keep drawing circles and I keep getting more property? Yeah. When you win the concentric circle lottery, you're rich. You won. You won. Okay, so like, You understand, like these circles keep getting bigger, right? You're expanding outward. Right where I marked the letter U, that's the middle. That's the very middle, right? That's where you started. Start drawing circles, at first it's just a little bit of property, big deal. But after a while, the circles get pretty big. After a while, they fucking massive. You're owning like entire, states, countries, oceans. I mean, you're expanding out, but this center spot where I started right here is always going to be in the middle, right? Right? It would have to be, wouldn't you think? You're expanding outward from this one center location. Does it make sense to you that that part right there in the middle is always going to be there? Do you agree with me that that center part will always be there? You're expanding outward, acquiring more and more property. Yeah, it makes sense that that center part there, that where I marked the letter U, that will always be in your property, right in the very middle. You're expanding evenly. Okay, so I got to go through this and make sure everyone understands exactly what I'm talking about here. Like we're expanding outward from that one spot where we started down there on the street. I got to plug my phone in. It's about to die. Right, there we go. So this is when you ask the person, if all variables allowed, all time permitted and whatever, if you were able to continue doing this thought experiment indefinitely, do you think you would eventually own the whole world? Because you're just expanding outward, and that starting from that one middle spot there, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, expanding out further and further. Do you think if all things permitted, that you would, if you could do that indefinitely, that circle would eventually engulf the whole world? You would own the whole world eventually, right? That makes sense, right? That's what you would do. Like if you did that indefinitely, you just kept expanding out. You only own what's in the circle. The circles get pretty fucking big, right? Why wouldn't you own the whole earth? It's expanding out. You're just swallowing everything, right? That makes sense. Most people would say yes, I think, if they thought about it without realizing, like if the thing is like people that are clever, and they're like they know that you're coming at them with a flat earth fucking thought experiment. They might be clever enough to think this one through, but I don't even know if that's true. They might be able to catch it, but like the thing is, the answer is no. You won't own the whole world if you live on a globe, because the circles do get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and expand further and wider and more further away. But after you reach the median, halfway across the ball, the circles start getting smaller. So the most you'll ever own in this thought experiment on a globe is half the world. Because your circles will get bigger and bigger and bigger, yeah, but once you finally reach the median, halfway across the ball, now your circles are going to start to get smaller. And check it out, those circles are going to be circling a whole different area. Remember that center spot I was talking about where we started right there in the center? That's no longer going to be in the middle of your circle anymore. And if you just kept going, your circles would shrink all the way down to just one little teeny circle on the other end of the world. Now, does that make sense? No, it doesn't. But that's what we're expected to believe would happen, because we live on a ball. But most people don't think this shit through to that extent. And they're just going to say, yeah, of course, you're expanding outward. Of course, you're going to own the whole world eventually if you're allowed to go indefinitely. That makes sense. Yes, it does. And I think that's a correct answer, actually. But not if you live on a globe. But I think most people would think this through logically and be like, yeah, of course you would own the whole world eventually if you just kept expanding outward. That makes sense. I don't know, maybe I'm just being too optimistic or something. Or maybe I'm just being too confident or cocky or logical. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like that's like, if you were to really think about it, like the only obvious answer is yes. But In the globe paradigm, the answer is no. You wouldn't own the whole world. The most you would own is half the world because the circles get smaller past the median. I say median because theoretically this thought experiment should be able to do this anywhere on Earth. Because if it's a sphere, then it doesn't matter where you start on the sphere. Start drawing circles expanding outward. You're going to eventually reach the halfway point across the sphere, and then you're going to start getting smaller circles. You know, you could start at the North Pole and then just call them latitude lines until you get to the equator. You know, but I don't even know if I like doing it like that, because then I kind of spell it out for people, like to where it's like they'll be thinking of the globe in their mind when they're doing it, you know, instead of thinking about it in reality, which is like we start off with the pavement there on a piece of chalk. It's like boots on the ground reality. It's like you're not busy thinking about some ball in your mind. You to get your mind off the balls, and you're just thinking about the reality of the property there that you're circling. You know, that's always going to be in the middle of your circle. You know, you're expanding outward. Yeah, of course we're going to own the whole world eventually, if we were just allowed to keep going indefinitely and time permitted and all that stuff. But, and that's why it has to be circles too, because they got us in this paradigm where our minds are functioning in the wrong. Like we're thinking of a surface, the Earth's surface, and a we're not. The thing is, most people aren't thinking about it to this extent, though. They want us to believe that the surface forms a 3D shape, meaning that if your circles were to like keep getting expanding outward, that eventually you'd be expanding so far that you were going around the side of the ball. And now, since you live on this weird situation, this ball where you can be upside down and sideways without realizing it, it's always going to seem like you're just walking along a level plane. So you're just going to be circling the last circle that you drew. And how is it going to start to get smaller? Oh, well, just has to because you live on a ball. Okay, all right. But the circles are going to start getting smaller somewhere else, though. They're going to be circling a different area. Here's the thing: east and west are circles on the globe, which is fucked up for the globe. That really is. This is like some lowbrow shit, really. It's like east and west are circles on the globe. So they get bigger and bigger as you move up from the North Pole. Okay? So once you get to the equator, it's a 24,000 mile circumference, roughly. Okay, so that's a circle. What area is inside that circle? What is the area inside that circle of the equator? Because it's a circle, east and west are circles on the globe and on the flat Earth, but what area is inside the equator? Circular, concentric circular racetracks. You mean like if you were to start the race and then start circling outward like a spiral, kind of? Pretty cool. Yeah, or just I mean, if you like race cars, so the thing is, like, if you could think about this as spiral too. It's like start spiraling out. How's that spiral ever going to start to spiral back in? How's that going to look in real life? The spiral's only going to expand. You're not going to get a smaller. How are you going to make a smaller lap around the outside of your spiral? It's not going to happen. Now, I've gotten deep with this conversation with some globers before that have tried to bicker with me about it. I just won't back down. And we've gotten to the point in the conversation where someone's like, okay, well, eventually your circles will start to get smaller, but the thing is, you're only circling the property that you don't own. And I was like, oh, yeah? Oh, well, you forgot the rules. You only own what's inside the circle. So you're not circling what you don't own. You're circling what you own. You only own what's inside the circle. That's the fucking rule. So if your circles start shrinking, that means you're losing property. You're not circling what you don't own. You own what's in the circle. How are you going to fit a bigger area in a smaller circle? It's not possible. So you're telling me that you could start circling around, starting right here in this center spot, and it gets so wide and such a big circle that you've made, and now the next circle you're going to make is going to be smaller, and now all of a sudden all that area that you've circled this whole time is no longer within that circle. Well, it couldn't be. How are you going to put up a smaller circle around a bigger area? So that smaller circle that you draw past the median is circling a whole different area. And it's going to start shrinking in on a whole different area to where like you're going to end up in a whole different place. All that area that you'd circled in the first part of the thought exercise is gone. You lost it. You only own what's in the circle. There's never a point in time when you're circling something you don't own. No, you only own what's in the circle. And that could be the part of the riddle that makes people go, wait, are you doing something tricky there? Well, kind of, but the thing is, I'm not the one doing something tricky. The globe is the trick. I'm just talking about reality here. And I do believe your circles will only get bigger. I stand by that. I firmly believe that. That seems logical, perfectly logical, sound. The only reason they wouldn't is if you lived on a globe. But I don't believe I live on a globe. So, and I'm 100% there. I'm 100% positive there's no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. I don't need to see video proof of it. I know it's not there. It can't be. How would that be? It's impossible. It's not possible. So I don't know if the trip's going to get canceled, or maybe they'll go down there and that's maybe Jaren's right. Maybe that's how they're going to slowly feed this out into the public. I don't know. I mean, I just don't like. Here's what's weird about all that is like, so Jaren, I think he talked to the poop camp. I call it poop can camp, or whatever. You have to poop in a can or whatever. You pay $100,000. You got to poop in a damn can. Sleep in a fucking tent. Freeze your damn nuts off. But it's the middle of the summer though in Antarctica. Antarctica. You gotta poop in a can in the damn camp down there in the damn Antarctica. You spend $100,000 just to go poop in the damn can so you could film a 24-hour sun. And these people had a damn camp down there. Like, what the fuck? How do people get away with having a private business down there where you can like charge it $50,000 or whatever and fucking you team up with some airliner and like fucking you're running this fucking hustle and it's like I thought it was like how do they get to do that? What makes them? They must be affiliated to the government or something. I mean, has anybody asked that question yet? I mean, these guys with their camps down there is like Glacier Camp or whatever it is. Like, how are they allowed to have a business down there? Where in the meantime, it's like we gotta fucking jump through fucking hoops galore just to get a trip down there, and it's like, what's up? How do they own a camp down there? I want some answers. I guess I could just call them myself. Because Jaren said he talked to somebody down there, and Bluffy said he did too. And I just wonder, it's like, so did you guys? So you talked to them, right? So what? I just feel like we could. How? Someone's got to do a show where they call the fucking place. All right, I want to see that live. I want someone to call the place and talk to them live, and be like, so I think we could finesse it out of them. We don't even have to talk to them like we're flat earthers. Just be like, so yeah, we want to come to your camp or whatever. It's like, and we just want to like experience Antarctica and go, whatever, sledding or something. I don't know, see the penguins, act totally like innocent, and just be like, so it's quiet times, like we're kind of worried because I think, does it get dark down there in the summer? Like, because we have kids and I don't know, whatever. We want to make sure we don't miss out on any sleep. Is there like a lot of people partying or whatever? I mean, what's it like? We just don't want to be around the noisy people. We want to have a quiet time and just sort of like, sort of pamper them, pet them, make them feel like, oh, these people are normal. And just talk to them like, oh yeah, so we want to make sure we get to see the penguins and we want to make sure there's quiet times and we already bought our poop cans and our pee cans and we're really excited, and can't wait to go down there and see. Money isn't an issue, so we're not worried about how much it costs, and we can pay you extra money if you can just make sure there's quiet time. And like, is this the time of year when there's 24 hours sunlight down there? Because it's going to be kind of hard to sleep at night. Is that right? Yeah. So it's 24 hours of sunlight. What? So like for 4 months, 3 months, 4 months? Wow, that's weird. So, wow. So is it going to be hot like at the camp? I just can't imagine the sun not going down for 4 months. That's crazy. So, so is it hot there? Well, it can't be hot because it's a glacier and it's ice. Is the camp located somewhere where it's not that sunny? Like, where is it? I mean, can you see the sun for the whole time? Like, can you see it 24 hours a day from where you're at there? Because I don't know if we want to camp there. If that's the case, it sounds kind of like it might be too hot or too bright. I don't know. No, you can't see the sun for 24 hours a day there. What like, just is there a lot of clouds, or is it just too many mountains or something? Why can't you see the sun for the whole time? Because it's light all day and night, but you can't see the sun the whole time. Just start drawing the information out of them. Just like you got to sort of finesse it out of them. You can't be like, oh, I'm a flat Earth streamer. I've been like trying to prove this for years, and nobody's done it. And you guys have a camp there, and you guys haven't done it. I suspect that you guys are in on this conspiracy. No, you want to talk to them like you're just normal people that want to go down there and see penguins, and money isn't an issue, and we want to make sure there's quiet time, and then you just sort of lead the conversation into the topic that at hand. It's sort of deceptive, but I don't give a fuck, man. I'm trying to find out the truth. I'm trying to lie for my truth. Someone's got to call Poop Can Camp. Hello, is this Poop Can Camp? Is this Poop Can Pecan Camp? I want to talk to the Poop Can Camp. Is this Poop Can Camp? Cost a damn $100,000 just to go to the damn Poop Can Camp? Can you see the 24-hour sun down there or what? No? But it's light all day and night? What, are you just positioned somewhere where the mountains are blocking the sun or something? What's going on with that? Is there a place that we can go that's nearby where we could see it if we wanted to? No? Hello? Anybody there? I mean, what's up? How come nobody that's why I keep saying, it's like I want to talk to Bluffy and be like, hey, dude, you're in communication with these fools that have this camp down there. Why don't you just save yourself $100,000, or just, here, I got a good idea. Why don't you give me the $100,000 and I'll talk to them? I'm just kidding. Why don't you just ask them if they're fucking, if they don't mind taking a video for you so you can shut the flat earthers up, Like, tell them, it's like, this is expensive, like, I'm gonna have to spend all this money just to prove to the flat earthers or something. And it's like, why don't you just take a video of it and just send it to me real quick, and I'll just fucking spare myself all the hassle. I mean, is this not silly yet? Is this not ridiculous yet? Hello, somebody help me. I feel like this is really ridiculous. Even Jaron talked to them. Like, I want to, like, somebody needs to talk to them live on a show. Like, why haven't we heard those conversations? Call the damn Poop Can Camp. I want to hear what the fuck they have to say about all this. I mean, this is kind of suspect, dude. What? I'm not saying Jaron's suspect. I'm just saying, why didn't anybody ask them about that yet? What? Can you see the sun the whole time? that's what this is all about, right? They're all talking about logistics. No, just ask them if you can see the sun the whole time. Why keep it a mystery? Like, these people have a camp there. You talk to them. I went and called the people down there. Yeah, we're gonna go. We're arranging all these things we have to get, and all this trip. We have to pay all this money, all these places we have to go. I was like, so we can get down there and see it. But you talk to the people. Why don't you just ask them if it's there? They're gonna say, yeah, of course. Okay, well, can you take a video of it real quick? Just, like, go set up a camera right now, and just get back to me tomorrow and just send me the video. I want to see you go and do it. Show me you setting up the camera. And then, dang it, we can't just make people do things, can we? It's hard, huh? You have to really finesse the situation. How would you? There's gotta be. What the fuck is going on, man? There's people that camp down there, right? Why is there no videos that are legit? The fact that there is videos, but we found fake ones, that makes it really tough. It's like you almost have to just go there yourself, Like, because you wouldn't be faking videos of that. And they admitted they faked it too, so it's not like we're just being like conspiracy theorists or something. They admitted they made a fake video of it. They didn't admit why they made it. They said it was because of some other fucking snafu, but it's like, obviously the reason they faked it is because they couldn't do a real one. Right? Because there isn't one. I mean, you don't have a camp for 25 years in a place that touts this specific event and not have proof of that event on your commercial. Hey, baby. You have smokes? Oh, I forgot about that. I'll still eat it, though.
Like weed floating around the pocket. Yeah, if it just falls out of. I think we found it as some of that coffee cake. Sorry about the green color. No, it's okay.
What's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's cupcakes that have all kinds of crazy colors on them.
Have all the cute coloring and stuff, but
I like it, babe. It's good. You make good coffee cake. You don't have to get better. It's perfect. All right. Yeah, so I stand by that. There's no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Well, actually, you know what? I take that back. There is 24-hour sun in Antarctica. But here's the thing. Antarctica is a big ring. It's a rare place. There's not any other place like it. It's a big circle. It's like my thought experiment, but it's the biggest ring you're going to get. Goes all the way around the whole entire fucking world. Okay, so the thing is, that's the biggest circle the sun makes right before that, which is why it's all ice, because it doesn't go that far. It goes. So the sun is up for 24 hours, visible in Antarctica. But Antarctica is a big fucking circle that goes around the whole world. So you're not going to see a 24-hour sun in any one place in Antarctica. What you're going to do is you're going to see it just like you would anywhere else. You go over you and there it's gone. But Antarctica is a big ring. The sun makes rings. The sun circles over us. So there's a place that's a big circle shape. The sun makes a circle shape. So technically, there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica because Antarctica is a circle. You can't go stand in any one place and see the sun the whole time. No, you'd have to you'd have to be in a big ring. You'd have to be standing in like, 60,000 mile circumference. You can't do that. So it's like these little truths, that like sort of slip out, Yeah, there's 24 hours of sunlight in Antarctica. Antarctica is a big ring. The sun makes a big ring. So technically, there really is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, but not in any one spot. The entirety of it. So you got to be careful how you word these bets. It's like, I bet you there isn't. Well, turns out there is. But you can't stand in any one spot and see it. You have to be standing in a big, huge ring. Sometimes I think I lose people. I just start talking about shit. And I'm like, it makes sense to me, but I don't think anybody else is even following me. Oh well. But yeah, people understand that when you have an expanding perimeter, it's only going to expand. If you start spiraling out from any one central location, the spiral you make is only going to grow. Logic tells you that. Anybody would tell you that. That's just what would happen. An outward expanding perimeter is only going to grow. And that space that you started right in the middle will always be right there in the middle of it. You're never going to start getting a smaller perimeter around it. That's impossible. You can't put a smaller circle around a bigger area. And in my thought experiment where it's like you only own what's in the circle, there's never going to be a point in time where you're just circling what you don't own, because you own what's inside the circle. You're never going to circle something that you don't own. You own what's inside the circle. And back to my question. What area is the equator circling? It's a 24,000 mile circumference circle. On the globe model, the east and west are circles. So the equator is east and west. It's a circle. It's a 24,000 mile circle circumference. So that being said, what's inside that circle of Earth? I'm just asking a simple question. It should be a simple answer. when you draw a circle, there's an area that's inside the circle, right? That's what a circle is. It's the area that's inside of it. The perimeter around that area, that's the circle. The equator has to be a circle because east and west are circles on the globe model. So what area is inside the equator? Somebody tell me, please. I need to know. Anybody know? What is the equator circling? If the equator was your property line, what property do you own? What is it circling? It's important. You need to know what property is yours. It's a circle, so what's inside of it? Anybody know? No. I'm asking because I don't know. I could say, well, the entire northern hemisphere, but no, it could be the entire southern hemisphere. Those are two different places. Only one place can be inside of a circle. So what's inside the circle of the equator? The bulge. What is there inside that circle? Well, it depends where you no. I'll tell you what's inside the circle, all right? The northern hemisphere. Because the circles only get bigger. The equator is just one of the circles. I mean, if you're working within a limited area, which I believe we are, if you start making circles somewhere, like you might end up in a situation where you're not able to make the full circle. You're going to run into a wall. So, you could end up like, if you're going to, like, basically, if you're going to overlay the globe map on our flat Earth, you would start at the North Pole, start making circles, and they would get wider and wider and wider to the point where it's just like you're walking in a straight line. But the thing is, the equator would be the one straight line, but it would go all the way to the wall and all the way to the other wall. It wouldn't be like circumnavigating. And then you would start circling the other direction, You'd have to overlay the globe map onto the flat plane. So technically on the flat Earth, if you're going to overlay the latitude and longitude lines on the Earth, the equator would be the one straight line. And then they would curve off to the left and curve off to the right. Just imagine like the star trails, but like overlaid onto the Earth. I don't know if the star trails are like that. I still got to see that myself. Yeah, the sphere debunks itself for sure. But it's like, here's the thing though, what sucks about it. It's like, it could be true. If all the things they're saying are true, then it could be true. But that's the thing. There's a reason why it's $100,000 to go to Antarctica. There's a reason why there's fake videos of the 24-hour sun. There's a reason why we can't travel freely down there. Because that is kind of the final experiment. Everything else they have some dumb little answer for, Oh, refraction. Oh, gravity's holding it. Or, oh, well, it moves with the Earth even though it's blowing faster than the Earth. Or the opposite direction. They got some fancy little fucking answer for all this shit, but it's like, gravity keeps the area here. But the one thing they can't really patch up is the fact that there's not a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. It might stay light all day and night. That's possible. They've already demonstrated how that could be achieved with what we're working with here. And we've already talked to somebody. There's a fellow flat earther who worked in Antarctica and said that exact fact. There's never a time when you can see the sun for 24 hours. There is a time when it's light day and night, but it's not like it is in the north where you can see the sun the whole time. We already have firsthand accounts. The thing is, we just have to take him at his word. He didn't bring back any videos of it. He wasn't a flat earther yet. He didn't think anything of it. I guess you think there'd be like some innocent person had gone to the camp and was like, we're going to go down there. Oh yeah, and that's when the sun's going to be there for 24 hours. Oh, cool. And they went down there and they took a video of it, and and the sun went off and set, but it's still light outside. Well, I guess we just can't see it from where we're at, but it's still light. There's got to be some videos like that online. There's some people that do they just not let any innocent people there? And then just, are they really, how is there like a private business there with these people that have a camp? Who goes there? Can we talk to them? I'm like, how come they haven't posted videos of what they see down there? It's so frustrating. I thought that we wouldn't. I didn't think people could have their own private business down there. Like, what? How do they get to do that? What the fuck's really going on? What's going on, man? I'm confused. So who are they affiliated? Are they government? How do they get to have a private business down there? What the fuck's going on? What is going on? I need some answers. I'm gonna call Camp Poop Can myself. Be like, Camp Poop Can costs $100,000 to go down there. Can you see the 24-hour sun or not? How come there's not a plethora of videos of people that go to your camp that want to post all that shit and show it off? What the fuck's really going on? You think there'd be enough innocent people that went down there that still believe in the globe, and it got there and we're like, whoa, 24 hours of sun, this is crazy. And, and it's light the whole time. They're not really looking at the sun the whole time. It's like, yeah, but they would have taken a video that, oh, look, no one stays up for a day and a night just taking a video. They just went down there and saw it. They're not going to take a 24-hour video. That's kind of like what a scientist would do, or like a flat earther or something. Is that really what it boils down to? They just go down there and they see that it's light the whole time. Like, well, there we go. We saw it. They just don't think about it to the extent that we didn't see the sun the whole time, though. I mean, do you think people were genuinely fooled by that? Or is it, man, there's so many questions. The thing is, if it wasn't for all the other preponderance of evidence, I could see how that would maybe fool someone into being convinced that the globe is real. They go down there and there's this light the whole time. They're like, well, okay, this is light the whole time. Well, obviously the sun's up. I just couldn't see it the whole time, but I wasn't watching it. I wasn't sitting there for 24 hours looking at the sun. Nobody does that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's daylight out right now. I don't see the sun anymore, but I'm just like, it's daylight, It's daylight for 24 hours. Like, well, there you go. The globe's real. It's like, it's almost as though it's like, it's a pretty good trick, Like, I think that they really did believe the Earth was a globe at one point. And it's kind of a cool idea, Like, if it wasn't just propagandized and commercialized and fucking lied about to the point where we're like, fucking, we know that it's not that now, and we're just still lying about it to our kids and stuff. I'm talking, not we, but I'm talking about like the society. It's like, maybe there was really a time when they genuinely believed that's what they were on, But at the point when they've gone down there and they really studied the situation, they're like, well, we can't see the sun the whole time, and the south, the mileage is all fucked up. We have to correct for the magnetic declination of the fucking compass, and it's like, there's too many things that are working against your idea here, and not to mention the fact that there's upside down people on your idea. That's the hardest part to swallow, by the way. Upside down people. I mean, even if I saw the sun for 24 hours down there, I'd be like, so I guess we're upside down. The thing is, you're not going to see it, though. It's not there. I'd be willing to put it all on that. I would, like, if someone's like, oh, this is a matter of, you have to answer this question correctly or whatever. I would definitely say there isn't one. There isn't a 24-hour sun there. There can't be. There can't be. It's impossible. Well, I guess anything's possible, but not a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. I don't think that's possible. Not with the reality we're working with here. But I could see how people would have been fooled into thinking that's what was going on there if it's light the whole time. I mean, people equate light to sun. I mean, it's pretty easy to think that you could be fooled by that. It's like nobody sits there and stares at the sun the whole fucking 24 hours. That's a long time, Nobody does that. But yeah, you're going to want to videotape it if you think it's cool. People do that. So they try to do it and they realize they can't. I mean, it's only a matter of time. It's like, but back in the day before there was video cameras, there were still people going down there, right? So, there was probably a point in time when people really believed it, maybe. Or it's always been like this, like fucking elitist, like fancy, like science talk. It's like, they call it science, but what it really is seance. That's right. I love you, baby. It's seance. They're holding a seance experiment. Yeah. Fuck my face. Alright, guys. I love you dearly. Keep it flat.